The market sells off into the pivot, and now the bulls face a major test. Can they pass? This is Invest with Jacob. Okay, guys, so in yesterday's video, we talked about the need for a push down into that 4,400 to 4,430 range, and that's exactly what we got during the day. However, it continued to push overnight and is now approaching the bottom of the pivot. The question is, what happens if we break the bottom of the pivot? I'll get into that in just 1 second. But first, if you're new here, welcome to the show, guys. My name is Jacob Gabbard, and this is Invest with Jacob, where we use Elliott Wave Theory to break down the SP 500 and the NASDAQ. I highly encourage you to hit that subscribe button down below so that you can get our daily S&P updates, our trade setups, and our buy alerts. All right, guys, with the push down here in the afternights, we are approaching the bottom of the pivot, which is a key level for the bulls. So let's jump into the charts and take a look. Okay, guys, so here we are on the 1 hour futures chart. Okay, and as you can see, they sold off today down into the pivot, and after hours, they've kept selling off here, and now we're down towards the bottom third of the pivot and approaching that must-hold 43.69 level. So right now, the primary count remains that the bulls hold support. It's been our primary count this whole time, so we're not going to change just because we're close to support, and it looked really scary today. That happens a lot when you're about to find a bottom. So the primary count does remain that the bulls hold support. However, we are getting very close to that support, so we need to know what happens if it breaks. Before we do that, let's look at a few adjustments we had to make here on the chart. So when this moves down, okay, this deep into the pivot, we did cross over into red circle 1 territory here, which means that red circle 4 can no longer be down here, and thus we're going to end this as a diagonal, and we know we don't count on diagonals or use them as a structure, so we must adjust to that move down. So the case then makes the Roman numeral 3 as we originally had it back on top, the Roman numeral 4 as the pullback, and then the move up, guys, would play out with a very small 5 of 3 higher high. So the wave would be, all the way up to here, but the higher high would be pretty small. And that's because of the height of this wave and the pullback of this wave. We would look for a small move up in wave 5 to complete 3, a move down in 4, and then up in 5 towards that 4,700 area to complete wave 5 of wave 1 and have all of wave 1 in place at that point. So that's the first and primary scenario. Our secondary scenario here, guys, is the pivot breaks, okay? If the pivot does break, we've been talking about this in every video for the last, 3 weeks, ever since the pivot got on here, that if they break this, then it becomes likely that we can come down and test the lows, all right, and likely make a new low for wave 5 down to complete this bigger wave 4, which would slide over here, okay, and we would complete that here and start this move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up all over again. Now, the issue I have with the move down is this isn't really a very impulsive move off the top. There's a mess up here at the top that isn't a clean 5 waves down, okay? It's not really a clean structure for a move that would target all the way down to a new low around 4,000. And really where it's targeting right now is the 43.25 area, and that would be a pretty good target for a wave 2. So the third scenario is that this is potentially all of wave 1 here, and we're in wave 2 pulling back towards that 43.25 area, which targeting-wise looks really good. Off the high, you hit that, and then it projects right to our projection higher. The issue I have is this structure here is it's tough to argue that as a 5-wave structure as well. So the primary structure and count is still that the bulls hold support, and if we don't hold support, then the secondary becomes that we are headed down towards the lows to either challenge or make a new low, most likely make a new low around that 4,000 area. And then the third scenario is that all of wave 1 is in. It is possible. I just don't love the structure. And if that's the case, we would be targeting the 4,300 to 43.25 area for a wave 2 pullback to hold and then move higher to start wave 3. So I know that's a lot of ifs and options and such, but that's how Elliott Wave goes sometimes. You're kind of in no man's land here waiting to see where the structure ends. And once it ends, you want to see what happens so that you can have more information to identify how this is all going to play out. So real quick recap here, we're looking as the primary to hold support and try to bounce here up in wave 5 of 3. However, if they do break support and move down, then we would be looking for a new low as our primary count, with our backup count being that it is wave 2, and we would look for support in the 4,300 to 43.25 area. Okay, so over on the NASDAQ. Okay, for the NASDAQ, it is kind of along for the ride right now. It did break through its must-hold for a wave 4, but it did push up so high here, we could make a much stronger case for a wave 1 on the NASDAQ. So it's looking for a wave 2 area to bounce and start higher, and that would be in conjunction with the ES finding support in its pivot box, okay, or finding support at that 4,300 to 43.25 area, while the NASDAQ looks for support at 13,832 down to 13,492. below 13,492, and it's very likely we come down and make a new low in the NASDAQ. Guys, if you love the information that I put out in these videos and you want real-time market updates from me, you need to check out investwithjacob.com, okay? There's a link down in the description. Go ahead and click that link. It'll take you right over to the website. Once you're over there, check out our membership plans. We have 2 amazing plans, and they both come with a 7-day free trial. And the reason for that is I want you to get in there, try it out, make sure you love it before you ever spend a penny. We have 2 amazing rooms. The first one is my Invest with Jacob room. In that room, you get my real-time market updates, my buy and sell alerts, as well as all of your Elliott Wave questions answered. We trade the SPY and the QQQ, so we do swing trade, and most of our trades last a few days to a few months, so we don't trade quite as often as a day trading room. However, if you are looking for day trading as well as individual stocks, you need to check out PT's Throne Room. Okay, and there you get everything you get in the Invest with Jacob room, as well as individual stocks, day trading, and PT's reduced risk binary trading style that is so powerful. You really need to check it out to believe how awesome it is. He's one of the smartest minds in the market today. He absolutely crushes it over there. So come check us out and see what we're all about with that 7-day free trial. We'd love to have you in there so we can make some money together. All right, guys, key takeaways for today. All eyes are on the pivot box. If they can hold support, then we look higher in wave 5 of 3. If we cannot hold support, then our primary becomes we are looking lower to make another low. However, if they fail to make that push down and hold that 4,300 to 4,325 area, there is a potential for this to be a wave 1 here and a wave 2 down, but I don't really love that count. Okay, over on the NASDAQ, it's kind of just along for the ride. It's looking to find support at 13,832 or 13,492, with 13,492 being its line in the sand. If it breaks below that, it's very likely it's heading down to make a new low. But really what it's looking for is a bottom to start wave 3 higher. It's looking for support down at 13,832 or 13,492. If it can find support at one of those 2 levels, we can start a bounce higher in wave 3. All right, guys, that is the market update for today. I will talk to you tomorrow.